This is Car Bros Podcast, episode 54.
The Grande
Live.
The
by
big
4.
five. We could have cued that a little better. But...
Whatever. This is how it is.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. We appreciate all of you who are watching this live. That makes this extra fun.
All the people that just saw our flawless intro.
Mhm.
Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulty.
We're getting better and better, though.
We fixed it faster than last time, I think. Thank you to our patrons. I see a few of them in the audience for being here and existing. Any of you would like to become a patron, especially during the podcast, I will not be monitoring Patreon, but that'd be pretty sweet. You can Google Car Bros Patreon, or there's a link in the description, I think. Yes, there is.
Of course.
Just a little bit heads up. Should we do this now? We are gonna try to keep our promise and finish the Monterey video in September.
And
so in order to do that, we are going to take the rest of September off, and we will be back Sunday, October 6th at 6:30.
Yeah, back to our Sunday night previous.
Yeah, we got some feedback that people liked Sunday night a little bit better, and then we'll do a Monday morning podcast, which was which is the way that we were doing it before. So October 6th, 6:30, mark your calendars. Apologies for our schedule being all over the place. Yeah, thank you for that, Heavy Metal. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
As with last time, we are watching the chat. We have an eye on the chat, but if you'd like to ask us something or get us to answer a question or anything like that, go ahead and super chat us. I would say any amount of money. We're cheap.
Yes.
But yeah, those are really obvious, and we do not ignore those. But in order to somewhat maintain the flow of the podcast, we're gonna not watch the chat super tightly. That's what we're trying to do. Okay, so John.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I've been doing multitasking. But so recently, I decided to sell my motorcycle.
Damn.
Yes.
Finally bit the bullet. Time to hang up the helmet.
You've been
retire from being a squid.
How many miles would you say you've ridden that?
I bought the bike with a little over 15,000 miles 5 years ago, and it currently has 17,500 miles.
Oh, that's okay.
So 2,500.
That's more than I thought.
About 300 of those was just riding it down from Sacramento to Fresno when I moved, because I bought it in Sacramento. But
Still,
yeah,
still pretty.
Little decent hobby. But so yeah, I put it up on Craigslist, which first time I've ever posted on Craigslist for a while. And let's just say the responses have been interesting. Exquisite, yeah. The biggest interest was from a gentleman this morning. Not the typical guy I would have thought who would be interested in a 1,000cc motorcycle, considering his profile picture is him in a cowboy hat. And he's like, I guess you could call him a vaquero. So, but he's coming this weekend to check out the bike. So we'll see how it goes.
No, he's not.
Yeah, I already put the odds at like maybe 20%.
We're taking bets.
Shows up.
Yeah, if you're interested, I'll put the bike on screen right now. Here is the Craigslist ad.
Damn.
So
if anyone's interested,
it's looking fresh. I cleaned it up, got it out of storage, which was
look at that thing.
It had sat in storage since like last year. I don't think I've ridden it for an entire year.
Damn.
Cleaned it up, took some sweet photos, but
shit's hot.
There it is. So. But that kind of segues nicely into our.
Oh, by the way,
another topic.
Have you sold the seats yet?
How are those seats?
Those seats are currently sitting in the living room still.
What?
Yes. I have not gotten any action on those for quite some time.
Oh, what? Damn, really?
I know. Very sad.
We should just fucking raffle those off.
I'm pretty sure I'm just going to turn them into like furniture or something. Like if we ever do get like a Car Bros studio, we're just going to use those as seats. But
yeah. Oh man, thank you, Jared, for that donation, and thank you, Zap, for that.
Oh,
Appreciate it, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Sup,
Sup
damn.
from Bakersfield, huh?
Central Valley.
Hell yeah.
Big shout out.
The non-glamorous parts of California.
Yeah, the parts of California people don't really talk about.
The hidden gems, you might say.
Yeah. Okay. So we have like, I can't believe how much mileage we've got out of talking shit about people selling cars.
we still have a ways to go.
It's mostly because Garrett continues browses Craigslist every day and probably posts at least 3 to 5 cars per week of stuff to check out.
Little gems here and there.
Endless source. Anyways, one thing that he found was I don't know why you found this, but a Toyota Highlander.
Look, I like to keep my options open. Okay.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Do you have that ad handy? It was like he sent it to us in the group chat, and it was like, I think his quote was like, "Damn."
Here it is, I think.
Beige on beige or something. And so he sends us this, admittedly pretty clean.
Yeah, I mean, you can credit where credit's due.
I mean, I'm not gonna be a hater. So, beige on oak, first gen Highlander, single owner,
V6.
V6, yeah, limited. It's like pretty fucking clean.
It's the one. It's the one to be
honest. Yeah, like if you're looking for like a daily, apparently these things are reliable.
This is the only photo of it besides exterior photo of it on the ad, by the way.
Kind of got that wide body look.
Yeah, it's like pretty tough. It's not a bad angle. I gotta say. And so, anyways, we're what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I imagine the front, like the driver's side front of this car is just totally fucked up in some way.
Yeah, you ran into a wall. But what we were talking about is like.
The setting that the car is photographed in, that you can you can tell a lot.
There's definitely a bias, in my opinion, toward like trying to pixel peep, if you will, as much as possible about the person's life by like the photos that they provide.
By their 15-year-old Toyota that's for sale.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I just got to say, this one's pretty solid. He's only provided 2 photos, which like you would say this is a terrible ad. There's like very little description and like low photos. But I sent this ad to like 6 people. I was like, you got to go check this thing out. Like, this thing seems solid. Purely based on
people that aren't even in the market for that type of car or a car in general. But you're like, here, go check this out.
Yeah, it's like somebody should buy this thing. I can tell you it's a smoking deal because the owner is very mature. It's like based on nothing other than
his house looks nice.
Yeah, the house in the background looks pretty nice.
He appears to have parked it near a house or some sort of building. That looks nice. I don't know though. I think that's a pretty solid car. I think we're right on this one. So if anyone needs a Highlander, if anyone needs a bike,
and then there's the flip side where you see a car that's like in like an oil stained like apartment like back alley.
Yeah, why don't you bring up this other other thing?
You got it.
Lincoln.
Oh, okay, the Lincoln. Yeah, you got to be more specific. Okay. We got a few things in the pipeline.
Literally moments before we went live.
Here we go.
I'm trying to make this whole podcast just like let's look at Craigslist.
But that's what we're doing. Right?
we stumbled across this little gem.
Check this thing out. If you're only listening, you're kind of missing out. Sorry to our iTunes viewers. This is a town car? A 98 Lincoln town car. It was born a town car. And it's asking $1,000. It is in a backyard.
Overgrown weeds. It's got a custom paint job. Suicide doors.
It has. I don't know. Are those actually suicide doors?
There's a picture with the doors closed and then a picture with their open.
I'm not sure what you would call it.
I would assume that's a suicide door.
They're most definitely custom.
Yes.
Whatever it is, There's also like, is there even a gate into this backyard? Like, how did he get this thing back there? It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, might have to call him and just ask him.
Yeah, we were joking.
Yeah, we were
about
thinking
just
it'd be pretty
this.
sweet. Yeah, like,
hey, you're live
calling
on the
him
Car Bros
live.
podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, it's like a Lincoln Town Car with a like pretty sweet airbrushed
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of
paint
skulls.
job,
Yeah,
full and purple
kind of like
and blue.
a tribal
like,
motif, I would say. Yeah,
yeah, a little tribal-ish.
huge. I like the
Just-
huge Lincoln logo on the hood too, which is pretty solid.
Yeah. And then it's just like been sitting clearly in some dude's backyard
Quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
for a while. Kind of a shame.
Carries a salvage title.
Oh no.
It's no big deal.
I don't know how it gets to this state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this isn't a bad.
Anyone's looking for a nice daily.
Yeah.
Somebody suggested we just buy it.
Yeah, but don't. It's crossed. It's crossed.
Yeah.
If we hadn't
Yeah,
just
the amount-
depleted our entire fucking Car
Yeah.
Bros account with making that Monterey video, maybe
Yeah.
we could. But
Yeah, we're pretty much broke after the Monterey video.
Not
I
just
thought-
financially, but just our souls are broken.
Yeah, we're emotionally broke.
Uh-huh.
We raised $4,000 almost exactly after Kickstarter fees for the Monterey video. And in my head, I was like, I think we're going to come out on top here. Like,
have
I
a
think
little
we're
side
gonna-
change.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a little something to spare. And I'm pretty sure we ended up spending like 5
Yeah.
or something, like all said and done.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're pretty much broke. But people
Well worth
often
it.
send us, they'll send us like cars. They're like, you should buy this. Like, yeah, dude, you have no idea how many stupid ass cars we would own.
If we could.
We talk about like the museum that we'd like.
Yeah,
to
the Car Bros
open.
Museum,
Yeah,
It's just a bunch of
It's,
stuff like this.
Hall of Fame, you might say.
yeah, it's full of stupid shit. Might as well keep it going.
Yeah, we've already. Speaking of the cars that would be in this,
The anyone who saw the thumbnail
Museum.
got a little preview of this gem.
A little taste.
Yeah,
A little taste of what's
Folks.
to come.
the
So
one.
this is
This is M3.
I guess I can just start off by saying any ad you see that says like one of a kind
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
in the title, like that's probably not really like a good.
Yeah, it's not a
It's not really a good.
it's not a
indicator.
compliment to be one of a kind when you're
usually-
looking
yeah,
for a
right.
vehicle.
Usually, if someone calls their car one of a kind, you
They're
might be in
grasping.
for a bad time.
So for our
Okay, so
audience only, it's a BMW M3 that has a
No.
very custom paint job.
it's a 328.
Bro, it says M3 in the ad.
No, bro, it's, it's clearly
it
not. an
started
M3.
life as a very pedestrian 4-door 328.
Ah,
Chris says we should just offer the guy $250.
see
What
what
is
he
it
says.
listed at? It's like 10 G's or
No, it's
something.
$1,000, bro.
No.
Isn't it
This?
$1,000?
It's 10,500.
Really?
Yes.
No, no, I thought you were talking about. I think he's talking about the Lincoln.
Oh, okay. No, we've already moved on.
No, the Lincoln. The Lincoln's $1,000. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, maybe we should.
I mean, maybe he'll take $250.
That's not a bad idea.
Mhm.
Storing it is actually the
Put it on the side of John's house.
hmm
yeah.
Put it
Now
in
that I'm
John's
freeing up
driveway.
room with the motorcycle, I got room to spare.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, this is a 328i with essentially like a full like
It has some like good stuff on it. Like,
Yeah.
M3 conversion. Yeah, it's like a Euro M3 motor, real like 18 or 19-inch BBSs. Bilsteins, some TSS 9s. Oh, thanks for that, Chris. He said he meant the Lincoln.
Obvious.
Yes.
And so it's like this is like this car has got some like legit parts
Goodies.
thrown at it, some goodies. But then
Some
he
would
did
say it's
this-
track ready.
Yeah, track ready ish. But then it is the paint job is this like
Oh boy.
Batman motif.
Yeah, it's a very elaborate like airbrushed Batman theme going around.
And I'm not one to talk trash on airbrushing, but I can't say that this is the highest
Yeah.
quality art. But
So it's like kind of derpy looking airbrushing.
kind of.
But like, yeah, leave that image up. There's one specifically on like the driver's
Is
side
that
where
Bat?
he's
It's Bat.
It's Batman riding like a gargoyle
Okay.
on the driver's side door.
no, that's a huge bat, dude. He's right.
Oh, is it? I can't. From this angle, it just looks like a gargoyle, but I guess it is a bat. Yeah.
I think he's riding an enormous bat.
I see. How could I be mistaken?
Has there ever been like any part in the actual Batman where he rides a bat, or is that just
No, that is not. That's not canon.
They just took some creative liberties with that.
Yes.
Yeah. He got a little creative with it. Although as we're looking at it, it's like, I don't know, because at first we were like, ha ha, ha, like this thing's so dumb, and then the more we looked at it, it's like, is it?
Yes.
Dumb?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like appreciate what he did, to be honest. Like the amount of effort that went into this. If you really like Batman, or you have like a 10-year-old boy, like he would love this car.
So, I mean, the interior is like
it's got
blue. Yeah, it's like blue suede.
It's got like bat embroidered seats and center console.
It's like he went all out.
Got some big boy brakes on there too.
Oh yeah, it also has like fucking
Brembos,
like 6-piston
cross drilled. Yeah.
So I'm pretty torn here.
This is very conflicting.
It's a conflicting car. So hats off to him for making me feel
these kind of things.
Many things at once. Like, do you think he was like watching the guy airbrush it?
And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, and he was just like, oh fuck. But he's like too far into it. I don't know.
The thing is, like, the airbrushing, you usually see that on like a really shitty car,
or like a van, like something with a lot of surface area,
or just something that's like not really
like
sporty.
Lincoln Town car.
Like a Lincoln Town car, or like a Mitsubishi Mighty Max or something.
Yeah. If this thing was just like, if he hadn't painted it, because it looked like the factory paint, it was just black.
Yeah.
It was like fine. And he left the interior stock. I think I'd be into it. I think
for sure.
I mean, it's just like
the modifications he's done are well done, and like modifications all of us would make, like big brakes, motor swap, suspension. What if you bought this thing and then like drove it around the corner to like a Mako and just like he's got to see you like paint,
or you just show up with like 12 primer cans.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
I need to do something before I drive it home.
Do it in the driveway. Yeah. Anyways, it's been a while since I've been so emotionally conflicted about a car, but here it is. That would actually. Somebody in the chat, Kinked Chrome, said someone should put a vinyl wrap on it, but like not touch the paint underneath.
Like leave it preserved.
And then just like sell it.
Yeah. So when they pull off the wrap, they get a little little surprise. That'd be pretty sweet, actually.
Like Christmas morning. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. That'd be pretty good. Okay, so speaking of Craigslist, I was just thinking of a few things, like some not that interesting ads, but things that people tend to say, some, like
sellers,
like stupid shit that sellers will put. Yeah, and one of the ones that like bothers me the most is if it's like a Toyota or a Honda or something that has reasonable reliability,
like a Highlander V6 Champagne,
like a Highlander V6. It'll be a car with reasonable miles, like 100 to 150,000 miles or something. And in the ad, they'll be like, "This is very low miles for this model."
These things run forever.
Yeah, they'll be like justifying it. They'll put like low miles, and then they'll like qualify it with a bunch of shit. Like, this is barely broken in. Like, these things regularly go like 400,000 miles.
Yeah, I would say we're not even halfway there yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, if you know these things go forever, it's like, yeah, that's not low mile.
Yeah, they're selling like a Land Cruiser with like 230,000 miles or something.
Yeah. So like, this is actually low miles for like a 93, and like these are like
they're all highway miles.
Yeah, they're highway miles. It's like, that's not like, thanks.
Someday I'd like to sell a car and be like, this car has 180,000 miles. Most of them were a 3-mile commute to work and back on city streets.
Yeah. These lived a hard life.
These are all downtown city miles.
Yeah. Most of it were cold freeway on-ramps. The alternative to that is when people will put stuff about how fast the car is in the ad,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll be like, "This thing pulls like
Not just
super
pulls.
fucking hard."
Yeah, pulls hard.
They'll be like, "Pulls hard all the way to red line."
This thing will surprise a Mustang GT driver, let
Yeah.
me tell you.
Yeah, like I've pulled on the following cars. It's like, okay, like thanks, I guess.
Actually, that just reminded me. The other day, I was looking at a car forum. I can't remember which one, but remember when every fucking car forum had like a kills section?
Yeah.
And like literally, like regardless of what kind of car it was like the classifieds, like tech talk, and it's like kill stories. And so it's just like to the dude in the 300ZX, like it's like they sort of sound like some kind of like borderline like sexual thing. Like I was out one night and this dude rolls up and like gave him a few lengths and like it's like and then it always said like no street racing like in parentheses. Like what the fuck?
Okay, so this took place in Mexico.
It's just funny, like in the early to mid 2000s, that was like a big part of the online car community. Like, tell people about this car you street race.
Yeah.
A lot of them is like clearly made up too.
Well, that just kind of seems like early internet was.
Then
like
his girlfriend got out of his car and got in my car with me.
Like early internet, everything had to be like story based, like text based, because like cell phones like didn't have good video or video at all. So there was no easy way to like post pictures or videos. So everything just had to be like word of mouth and like totally elaborated and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Ryan Steakhouse.
Yeah, Ryan Steakhouse is a classic example of this.
Yeah, so I don't remember Ryan's Steakhouse.
If you haven't, just Google Ryan Steakhouse.
Yeah, like Ryan's Steakhouse story. And then,
well, even just Ryan Steakhouse, it comes up. It's like a top hit.
Sit down with a cup of Joe and just...
Yeah, it's like early internet
novel.
There's a couple of those where it's just like long form text based things that got spread around the internet.
Like you're not sure if it's real or not, but in the end, it really doesn't matter because even if it's not real, it's really creative. And
the entertainment value, is so good.
Yeah, there was another one about a snake in the desert or something. Do you remember that? Better Nate than Lever or whatever. It's pretty good. I just gave away like an hour worth of reading. Anyways, whatever. We digress. Thanks for that super chat, Brendan.
Yeah.
He said, "What about when people make videos to go with their Craigslist ad, and it's really bad?"
Oh, actually, that actually reminds me. My brother right now is looking for he sold his Z06, and he's kind of looking at a GTO, like an 0506.
Oh, really?
GTO. So
did you get him hooked on that?
Yeah, and like I suggested it, and I guess he drove one. He's like, I really like this thing, but like this one was like a piece of crap. So like he liked the car, but he's looking for like a nicer one.
Cool.
But people have been like sending him, like he's been looking at cars, a few hours away. So he'd ask for like a video, like you send me a video of it, starting up, blah, blah, blah. And he showed me this video. He's like, I don't think this guy knows how to drive stick. And he's like, this like video makes me not, because it's the guy like trying to take off and like the car's like revving super high. And then he's like kind of like getting on it for no reason. It's like he's like getting on it like up and down this like residential street. He's like, oh, I don't think I want this.
Yeah, showing off the goods.
Damn, we should make a spoof video.
That's kind of like a remember like video dating? Like you had to like make a video and then like other people would watch it. Like that's kind of the same thing.
Hi, I'm Tim.
Yeah. We should do that. That's not a bad, because people do that a lot on Bring a Trailer. They want like a video.
Right, like like starting
of
driving
it.
up.
Yeah, like starting and like driving around and stuff. That'd be a pretty good like video tour that like goes wrong.
Once we put the Fieri on Bring a Trailer.
I was gonna say, do you remember the Fieri had a video attached to the original eBay ad of it? Like I think they walked around it and it had a startup and there was like a huge belt squeal. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
Like it started up, but like
right.
the belts were squealing pretty loud and he was like trying to show off the interior.
Don't mind that squeal.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of those videos suck. Like in general. That reminds me, like I was thinking the other day, especially now that it's starting to get out of summer and into winter. Like, is there anything more embarrassing than starting a car with like a super loud belt noise.
Oh, I know. It's like the worst.
Everyone just looks immediately.
Yeah.
It always cracks me up because like you can fix it. Like you can literally just put like some motor oil on it or something. You know, it's like you can
like
shut it
the
up.
quick fix. Yeah.
But like people who don't know anything about cars, and you'll see someone get in.
He's like, I don't know what's going on.
It's just got to warm up. Like that's the excuse. Like it's just warming up.
But like, there's nothing you can do. You start your car, and it's just like screaming like a fucking banshee, like on a public street in front of like a coffee shop or something. It like always cracks me up when somebody does that. Yeah. I guess that also reminds me. Speaking of neglecting car, I guess I can't really talk shit. Maybe like 5 months ago, I went on a trip in the 4Runner. Oh, I think we talked about it like on the podcast. I was gone for a bit. And during that trip, the starter started to go out. Like, I guess it's kind of a common thing for my generation 4Runners where the contacts in the starter will like wear out. And so it's like a $10 part if you want to dig in there and swap them. And the starter itself is like $300 or something. And so it'll always start. It's just sometimes it like takes a few
cranks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I didn't know what it was doing. Like it just kind of started poorly one day. And I was like, that's weird. Like it almost acted like the battery was going out. And then like a few days later, it did it again, and then it started to get worse. And I looked it up, and it was like, oh yeah, it's really common, and like it's pretty easy to fix. Just takes an afternoon and like $10. And I was like, like fuck, I should probably fix this soon. So that was 5 months ago.
Get around to it.
And it's slowly getting worse, but it will always start.
Yeah, if you give it enough tries. It's got to be
enough.
Has that ever happened to you on a date? Is that embarrassing, or do you have to like give the girl the warning? Like, by the way, this might not start.
It is definitely. I can't believe I'm admitting this now that I'm saying it out loud. It's like pathetic that I haven't fixed this. But like, I'll like not park near the place I'm going, so that like there's not the chance of like starting the car in front of
failing.
People. Like failing, which is like really dumb. So yeah, I don't really have a point. I mean, it kind of comes down to like if you know about cars or you know what's wrong, you end up putting shit off way longer than you should.
Yeah.
There's this guy I use, like he's kind of my mechanic for the car. And I asked him about it like a month and a half ago. I was like, hey, have you ever heard it? Because I don't, here's the thing. I don't really want to fix it myself because it's a little bit involved. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
There's a little bit involved. And if you know what you're doing, it's pretty fast. It's like most things. But I also don't want to replace the starter. Like I don't want to have the starter replaced. And so I texted my friend. I was like, hey, have you ever heard of this problem? And like, are you familiar with fixing it and like the cheap way to fix it? And he was like, I am familiar with it, but I'm traveling, so I'm gone for 5 weeks. So like, sorry. And I was like, all right, fine. Like, I'll just fucking fix it myself. And so that was like 5 weeks ago.
Hopefully he's back.
And so, yeah, I think I'm just going to take it to him. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is how negligent you can be when you like know what's wrong, how much you're willing to like put shit off.
Right.
Yeah, pretty bad. Okay, so I don't know how to introduce this.
It's not. Let's just say it's not the first time we've
discussed.
Here's a topic that's very dear to me.
We've broached this topic.
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Oh no, you earlier today you said something about Mitsubishi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was saying I can't believe Mitsubishi still exists. And then I followed that up with, do they even sell cars in America? And then I followed that up with going to their website.
And checking out the latest models.
Their impressive lineup.
Yeah.
To confirm how pathetic their lineup is.
And then I was like, Oh yeah. Well, considering or you were like, I don't think they're coming back from this or something.
Yeah, they make. Bring it up, John. Just go to like Mitsubishi.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing
whatever.
right now. Yeah, here we go.
It's like it's
The
pretty
adventure
sad. I mean,
starts now.
yeah, it's like, oh,
Oh,
There it is,
folks.
I mean, it looks like a real company.
If you want to see a brand that's killing,
I'm scrolling, but that's it. I think they only have those 6 models, right? Is that, am I mistaken?
I think that's it. And one of them's a hybrid version of another.
Yes.
It's not really fair to say. It's another model.
and the 2 bottom ones are just the same car. One has a trunk and one doesn't.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they really have what, 3?
Yeah, I think they pretty much have like 3 cars. Yeah.
Calling it 3. Okay. Pretty bad.
Yeah,
It's a pretty like pathetic fall.
Yeah, in like a short amount of time, like what, 15 years maybe?
Was it? Because I was thinking about like early, like they were never good. Let's be honest.
They were always like a not a top tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always kind of. They were better than Suzuki.
Well, I just remember like like they sponsored like Too Fast, Too Furious because they were bringing the Evolution to America, and then they also had the Eclipse,
the one that Roman Pierce drives.
Yeah, the Eclipse, the Eclipse convertible, whatever generation that is. What is that? 4th gen, 3rd gen? I can't think.
I don't know.
I think it's 3rd gen. Yeah.
Spider.
The Spider convertible V6.
Hot.
Yeah. So like that was like I guess their peak probably in America was.
Their peak was No, I guess maybe because that was when they finally sold the Evo here.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But like mid '90s, they had or early '90s, they had the like Galant VR4 and the.
Oh yeah, and the 3000 GT. Yeah, that's true.
And then they made a minivan. The truck was pretty good.
Oh yeah, the Expo. Damn.
Yeah, the Mighty Max.
Yeah, the Mighty Max.
Go bring a picture of the Mitsubishi Expo, please.
All right.
Just so people can know what we're talking about.
Yeah. I feel like we're missing one. Eclipse, 3000 GT.
Oh, yeah.
Diamante?
Oh, obviously the
Damn. How can I forget?
I don't know what this looks like a solid photo of one.
Oh yes. Damn. Good find. I mean, just if you want to know what Mitsubishi was at the height of their power.
This sweet minivan. Expo.
Yeah, probably their most underrated model.
And they had that sweet like
I got
actual
on the
like
screen.
boxy van too.
There you go.
Did you ever show it? I don't see it.
There it is. Yeah, sorry. Damn. Now it's up on the screen.
If you're listening audio only, you're missing out on the Mitsubishi Expo. Was that actually a van? Isn't that thing like Corolla sized?
Yeah, it's just like a Corolla with a really tall roof.
Didn't they make like a 2-door? I swear I saw one of those things and like almost fell over laughing. Because they make like a.
Well, they made like a
hatch.
Maybe.
What's that like?
But they also made like an actual like a full size, not full size, but like a bigger van. That was
one
more,
of those.
That was more like the Toyota van.
Yeah, like Expo Plus. No, I think you're closer on the previous.
Mm-hmm. The point is, it's really. I think in Japan they actually made that with like the 4G 6.3 and all-wheel drive and stuff.
Damn.
The Expo, or I forget what it's called there, but.
Yeah, we're not really building a good argument that they were once good here.
Yeah, I think we're kind of being ironic with that. But anyway, that got us talking about like brands that have had a big fall from grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, specifically.
Well, actually, no.
Can I just say?
Oh, go ahead.
Is there a more pathetic, like, single car character arc than the Eclipse?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to think about it, but
like that thing was like it was like that was the first one, right? In the early 90s, the little like, wedge.
Yeah, it had the turbo model.
The DSM.
Yeah.
And so it's like bring that up, John. Why don't you just show it? Shit, you got the computer. Eclipse. So it's like the early ones, and like there's a pretty big following for that, I assume. And then the second gen, which was like way better, and in Fast and the Furious and stuff, like people were all about that.
Because there was a GSX first gen too, right? An all-wheel drive turbo.
Yeah. It was almost the same car.
Those things were like back in the day. That was like the fucking like. I need a fast car and I don't have any money.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing was like an Evo, essentially.
Yeah, that was like, that's what you buy.
For America.
And then they just fucking dropped off the fucking face of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I remember the third gen came out. Was it like the V6?
Yeah, they dropped the turbo, so it was either 4-cylinder or just V6, yeah.
And it was
200
like,
horsepower.
Are they
V6.
gonna like follow up with like something good? And it like sucked.
And then there's that like super bloated.
Yeah, the bubbly one.
Yeah, the like 05 or something.
That's third gen, right?
No. The bubbly one is fourth gen.
Oh, God, I forgot it. So this was like they tried to get back into it. Like this had a bit of a following.
I don't think so.
Dude, there's like half the images on that screen are modified. Like,
yeah.
You're talking about the culture that's around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so they tried. It was like, it's not happening. So then bring back, what's the current one? It's called the like
Eclipse Cross.
It's like, this is a perfect example of future generations squandering your wealth. I mean, what the fuck is this thing? This is like, what? This isn't even... Did they just rename something?
Do you remember the Eclipse?
Hopefully like, what?
Yeah, it like, why even call this the Eclipse? Like, it's not
it's like
because your company's bankrupt.
Yeah, you're just trying anything at this point.
They're just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. So I don't know. I was thinking it's a pretty good candidate for like the worst car character arc.
Yeah.
There's probably something worse, but I'd have to.
Yeah, you have to.
I'd have to open some.
Yeah,
books
you have to think it over. You have to meditate on it.
You have to go through the archives and see.
Yeah. Well, here's a new
Pontiac
Le Mans
like
Cobalt theory.
It's a pretty solid one.
What is?
The Pontiac Le Mans.
Oh, I was gonna say that too. That's only like 2 of them, right?
Yeah. Bring up a picture of like a '69 Pontiac Le Mans.
I think I've shown this before. We've talked about this.
Daihatsu, whatever.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah, I know, but just gotta get the back to back, bro.
Yeah, back to back, bro. Come on. Gotta use your fancy setup. We need a 4th member who's just on Google.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yes.
Late '60s Pontiac Le Mans.
All
right, now go to like 1991 Pontiac Le Mans.
All right, I'll bring that up. Don't just keep talking.
Okay.
No, we're gonna wait.
They put it on a little hiatus.
Yeah, they went back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
They're going to reinvent themselves.
They looked up everything that made the original great.
Yeah,
they came back with.
There it is.
Jeez.
Sweet little hatch. This is the car though that shares like the same. It's like the same car with like 30 other cars that Carl B talked about.
Daewoo Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Daewoo.
Yeah.
The Daewoo like fentanyl or whatever. That was stupid.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad
good
application of a name.
Right.
I think, but the Eclipse had a stronger like fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Le Mans was never a super high end car, but
I'll have to think about that.
Yeah. The new Cobalt theory.
Yeah, that's the new like we'll call it the Eclipse is too cool of a name. Whatever. TBD.
Yeah.
TBD on that phenomenon.
Chevy Malibu, that's not a bad one. That's an Andy.
It's true.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
Ooh, it's pretty good. We'll have to think about this. We'll bring some competitors. Okay. Anyways, so Mitsubishi.
Yeah, as we were talking about Mitsubishi, like we talked about, like they're probably not going to like right the ship. It doesn't really seem like they're really. Oh, that just wait.
Yeah.
They'll figure it out.
They're on life support.
And I was like, well, Nissan like bought Mitsubishi like a couple years ago.
It's very fitting.
So I was like, that does not bode well for that company turning things around. And so,
too bottom rung.
Yeah. I mean, and then so we just feel like, Nissan is another company that's fucking fallen off fucking big time.
Yeah.
Like probably like as bad as any company has ever fallen, really. A car company, I would say. I
think, Keith, thanks for that, Keith. Keith says Chevy Nova. That's probably
yeah. The thing is, the Nova was like, people made Novas really cool, and they made cool versions of it, but like it was designed kind of to be a cheap car. Even back in the day, it wasn't like an expensive sporty car. It was just light and cheap, so people could make it cool.
Also, I'd rather be a rebadged Corolla than a rebadged Daewoo.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Fantasy.
What was that? I swear, what was that thing called? Was it the Fantasy?
That was the one we joked about the most.
It was one of them. There was like many different cars on the whatever, like something platform. They all fucking
the whatever, the Daewoo like M platform.
But yeah, so we were talking about Nissan, like how they've fallen off pretty goddamn hard. But like, I was actually thinking about it a little bit, and I kind of came to not a conclusion, but like an observation that maybe Nissan was never really that great to start with.
Yeah.
Especially in the U.S., I would say.
Yeah.
In the U.S.
The asterisk is in the U.S. They've had
it's
like
a brand.
They've had like a handful of like really good cars.
Yeah.
And not really a whole lot besides that.
They don't have any like segment killers.
Yeah, and they never really did.
They never really did.
Yeah. Well, I guess the GTR.
Yeah, I was going to say the GTR was kind of, but like I said, it was only brought to America.
Yeah, and
in the latest
that
iteration.
Sort of made its own segment in a way.
Right.
That's true.
I'd say the original 240Z, but that was when they were still called Datsun. But
right.
That was a kind of like game changing.
That's true.
Car. I mean, but that was 50 years ago. And then the 510, which came out at the same time. Those were kind of cars that no one else was doing at the time.
Yeah, I think their strongest offering was probably the Maxima, or their most competitive,
like early to mid 90s.
Yeah, like the 90s Maxima.
Yeah, because that thing was pretty good.
Yeah.
My brother had one, and then I ended up driving it. I think it was a 95, and it was like a stick. And I think I made it to like 250,000 miles before I sold it. Like, that was a pretty good car. I think it was better than Accord.
That was also a car that didn't really have I mean, it sort of had competition, but no one really made a car like that at the time.
You don't think the Accord?
No, the Accord was a little smaller, and it wasn't as like it was never as sporty.
Yeah, it was more just like kind of mid-size average car.
Yeah, because the Altima was like the Accord competition.
Yeah, it felt a lot to me like a Japanese Taurus kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it had a lot of what made the Taurus good, but like made even better.
A better version of it.
And like better engine and stuff.
Yeah, so
I like that thing.
Yeah, it's just they were never bad. It's just in America in particular, they never. I mean, like the 300ZX twin turbo was cool,
right?
But like it wasn't really better than a Supra.
Yeah,
it was really good for the time it existed alone, because 300ZX,
that was like
the twin turbo, I think was like 89 with a 90 model year.
Yeah,
until like 93. So it kind of existed on its own.
Yeah. And then the GTR was, of course, great, but that was never sold in America until 2009.
Yeah.
Which,
I guess they don't really...
Like, their trucks are good, but not...
They're fine.
Yeah. They're
not as good as Toyota.
Yeah, their small cars are okay, but I wouldn't say they're as good as Honda.
Yeah.
Infiniti,
the thing about
Infiniti
Nissan is
good, but
it's probably... They're probably one of the best like brands to modify. Like almost every one of their models had a strong aftermarket following
in the 90s.
In the 90s? Yeah. And so people, I think, are very nostalgic for that company, but it's because you could like do cool shit with their cars, but not because their cars were like good.
Right. Yeah.
Out of the box.
Yeah, I would say like 03 Nissan's probably about there. I'd say like 1970 and 2003 were like their two peaks. So 03 they had like the new Z that like people. That was like a pretty like
the
hyped up car.
The 350Z,
yeah.
In 03 it was pretty nice. Yeah.
Yeah, the Maxima was still like pretty cool then.
Right.
And then Infinity was like that was like the peak of Infinity making like cool cars.
I'm pretty sure the Rogue came out in 03 though too, didn't it?
Did it?
I think so.
It's the beginning of the end.
I think the Rogue was like 06.
I
think we've gone through.
Okay, I can't remember. I just remember it was pretty close to the early 2000s, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean now they're like,
but it's like
unrecognizable.
They've taken a huge fucking drop. But
right, yeah.
I was just thinking like, it in a way it's almost like GM-ish, where they've always had like a bunch of potential, but have always kind of struggled to deliver.
Yeah.
At least here. In Japan, there's all kinds of cool shit that they never even tried to sell here. But
yeah, it's weird that like I think they would have. Well, I don't know if they would have been more competitive. I guess I see it from a business standpoint. But like, why did they not bring the GTR? And like, why did they not bring the like good turbo motors? That doesn't make any fucking sense to me.
I don't really know.
I'm guessing because of California, because of CARB.
Maybe. It does. I mean, it doesn't make any sense by today's standards.
Probably, like they just didn't want to spend the money to get it certified for America,
or they just thought it would be really expensive.
Yeah,
yeah. I think that was a bad business decision, unless it was like impossible to get it certified or something. I'm guessing they just miscalculated the enthusiasm for their performance stuff.
Yeah, and then also like a lot of like just as that stuff was coming out is when the Japanese economy kind of took a shit, so that might have had something to do with it. Yeah, like their economic bubble burst in like 88 or 90 or something. But, I mean, they still made the cars. So I don't really know why that would affect. Why that would affect them not bringing cars here, but
interesting. So that's why there was so much like hot shit in the early 90s, because they were just like,
because they had spent like the past 5 years developing it.
Yeah,
like 90.
That's interesting.
Like very late 80s, early 90s first.
Yeah.
What's sad is they even though they suck now, they still sell well in America. Like you see new Nissans everywhere.
But they're not profitable though. They're losing.
Are they?
Like
they're cheap.
They like switched to like a volume over everything.
Oh, okay.
Strategy. So they moved a bunch of cars, but they fucking like
they feel like their brand image is better than making money, I guess, or just market. What's market share?
Market share over,
they're purely just trying to pump cars out.
Like it says rental fleets. Yeah, exactly. Like if you go to rent a car, like most of them are fucking Nissans.
Yeah, right.
That's definitely not how it was in 1992.
Yeah.
We were joking. I'll bring up on screen this picture that we were joking about earlier today. Like what car is this? Is this the Altima? Is this the Maxima?
It's a Maxima.
Is this the Sentra?
Yeah, I saw that thing today and confirmed it was a Maxima.
Yes. Yeah.
I saw one. Yeah, their design language is so dumb. It's like all over the place. Like that weird, huge front fender bulge
like
into this like low like door sill.
And they have to have like the worst corporate front end.
Yeah, it's just like it's all bad.
Like even though Lexus is like obnoxious with their like Predator face, at least like I don't know, it's got at least a style to it. Where this just looks like super fucking lazy. It's like a trapezoid.
The thing is, though, if you squint, I think they're trying to like poach a little Predator action.
yeah, with the two-tone.
Like, oh shit!
They're trying to get it on.
Yeah, for sure they are.
Copy some homework there.
Yeah.
Although with that said, I think the fucking GTR, especially the Nismo version, is still a pretty fucking sweet car.
Yeah, they're dope. I see them driving.
It's just that's. I don't even know if last time I haven't seen like a new GTR driving in quite a while.
Oh really? I see them every once in a while.
I'll see like a 2012 or something.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Yeah, those things are killer.
I don't know if I've ever fucking even like seen one of those driving.
Oh, I haven't. No.
A Nismo one.
Yeah, like new, whatever the one. Those things are like fast as shit.
I'm sure.
They're expensive, but it's a pretty cool car.
Yeah.
180 grand or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad they're still pumping those out.
Yeah.
I have a suspicion we're not going to get new performance stuff from Nissan.
At least not for a really long. They seem to have their plate full.
Yeah,
just like trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, they have their plate full trying to keep their CEO out of prison.
Well, it seems like that's kind of like the whole Japanese trend. Like, I mean, I know Toyota just came out with the Supra, but like we've discussed, that's, it's basically a BMW underneath. And like Subaru hasn't made a new STI in forever. Mitsubishi killed the Evolution years ago.
Yeah, I just think they're trying to
they're just trying to get
milk it.
more the American, or the average American rather than the enthusiast.
Yeah, and if they do build something, they want to like lower the cost as much as possible by sharing.
Yeah, sharing the platform.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Nissan.
Nissan.
Probably won't be the last time
that good to
talk about
begin with. Yeah. Can I just say this is like a really dumb comment, but bring up a picture of a lowered Juke. I'm probably about to eat my words here. But like the Juke R, do you remember that thing? It was like, I don't know if it was Nissan sponsored. Yeah, but it was like a GTR.
Yeah, that's like a one-off
drivetrain and a Juke body. But they ended up lowering the thing. There's something about these like really kind of dumb looking. Well, that's not a good. I want something like dumped.
Like bags.
Yeah, like slammed on its fucking.
I mean, we don't.
Put Nissan Juke on bags, bro.
All right.
Yep, bro. There's one right there. What's that thing?
You got to be more descriptive than that thing.
Third down on the left. That's pretty good.
This one right here.
Is that a Juke R?
Oh.
Yeah, that. There's something about. I'm not gonna say this looks like amazing, but there's something about these really like funky looking designs. Oh, that is the Juke R, of course. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not a very good example, but these cars that look like really dorky, there's something about when you just like slam the shit out of them, they like kind of get cool.
Yeah.
Like
I can see that.
Yeah.
Like the CHR or no, what's the Toyota thing?
Yes.
Yeah, CHR.
Yeah, find one of those. Like
search for like Nürburgring CHR. Nürburgring.
Or it's Google. It'll just fix everything. I'm not saying I love slammed cars. Just saying.
I mean, I
am. These cars where it's like, oh my god, they're so hideously ugly. Like I can't believe anybody would buy that. There's something about it when you remove all ground clearance that it at least like improve. It just makes the design make more sense. I think. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it's like, oh,
that bad.
Yeah, straight from the factory. This is how you buy them.
Yeah. Whereas before we were like, that is the dumbest looking car on sale, today.
We didn't just say it was one of the dumbest looking. It was like the dumbest, like period.
It was like the worst, and then you like dump it, and it's like, oh, hold on.
Okay, take that back.
All right, like, you remove its drivability.
That just goes back to our wheel gap thing. Like, whenever they show a car on the website, there's like no wheel gap, but then when you go to look at it in person, there's like 3 inches between the tire and the fender.
Fist it.
Yeah. Slam anything. It's Carbro's top tip.
Yeah.
Fuck,
cut those springs, bro.
Yeah. MS Paint. Just blap. Damn it. Okay. And finally.
Oh, this
is this?
Okay, so this is everyone's here and there you like to throw in a completely car related rant.
I feel like we touched on this.
Did we?
We on our Popeyes story. I complained about it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So, anyways, the thing is, I think this kind of ties into a lot of times like a company will bring out something like a new. We've sort of talked how like the beta version of a site, or they'll like try to make it seem like it's. Like, we're doing this because you want it, because it's a better experience for you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But they're usually like, it's usually like a cost-saving thing.
Right.
And I think the biggest example of that is those Coke Freestyle machines.
I'll bring one up.
I'm sure people know, but it's like most like restaurants and even stores, they've kind of replaced like the soda fountain.
It's the like touch screen.
Right. And I remember, I don't know when those things started, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like, have you seen those new Coke machines? And like, you can make like anything you want.
That's a terrible photo.
It's like they have like 100 things, and then you in fucking application, like those things suck.
Wow, great photo.
I know,
okay.
Totally.
Yeah, sure, fair enough.
There you go.
But first of all, like they always seem to like run out. They run out like way faster than the normal soda machines.
Yeah, just because they share, like each flavor shares so many elements that it just
like,
depletes.
Like sometimes, you'll go to it and it's just like, oh, like all the diet drinks are like empty. It's like, okay.
Right.
Which I don't think that really happens that much in the regular, in the analog.
The quality or the quantities must be larger.
I remember some guy commented on the last podcast when we talked about it, and he said like whatever the syrup bag is like sold from a different manufacturer than Coke. Like you have to order the parts or the syrups or the ingredients from like different people. It's not just like you can order everything from the same vendor.
You don't just get like a package.
Right, yeah. It's like if you run out of one thing, you have to order from vendor A. If you run out of another thing, you have to order from
I think I've seen
vendor
it.
B.
Doesn't it come in like a box? It looks like
everything's
candy.
Yeah, everything's in a box. That's how regular fountain machines are too.
I thought it was like an actual cartridge. I think the inside of those things
it's like an ink cartridge.
Yeah,
probably.
like
probably these machines are.
Yeah, they always seem to run out, and people still don't really know how to use them, especially like older people. So like it'll take someone like a long time.
Right.
And
they're slow.
So there'll just be like 4 or 5 people like lined up behind, and it's like it's either like a kid like trying to use it, or just like an older person. It's like, how do you use this touch screen? Just trying to get some tea or something.
My biggest complaint with those things is like that has got to be literally the worst touchscreen experience on the planet.
Oh yeah,
like literally the dumbest fucking, like the screen and the thing you touch. There's like a 2-inch air
gap.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to just be because they have to account for people who are going to punch this thing because they get so mad at it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's super unresponsive. There's like a 2-second delay in what you press to what it goes to. Like that's part of it.
I think it's like I just remember those things being marketed. Like, have you seen the new Coke machines? Like, it's the future of like drinking.
Yeah.
But I assume they're cheaper. They must be cheaper to run than.
I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but like in practice, maybe they kind of suck.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I did go to Popeyes. 2 days ago or something like that. Right, I texted you guys or something. My girlfriend and I were craving it. So we walk in, and they do have like these giant signs on the windows, on the doors, on the cash register that say like the chicken sandwich, BRB. Like, we'll be right back, quick break.
Oh yeah, it's like on the actual.
It's on the menu, and then it has like a little like stamp, like a sticker over it,
a
digital sticker that says like "Be right back" and or "Coming soon" and stuff like that, because they apparently can't get their shit together.
They really fucked up good.
So we walk in, and like it's completely empty, and I was like, this is kind of rare because
the restaurant, you mean?
Yeah, the restaurant. You guys have been there. It's usually there's at least a couple people in there. Mm-hmm. And I walk up to the counter, and we're standing there for probably like 3 minutes, and like I can see a guy in the back like washing dishes or something, and then he finally notices that we're there. And he's like, "Oh, okay," and then he like starts to walk to the front, and he's like, "Yeah, I just want to let you know our system's down, so we can't take any orders right now." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's rebooting." And I was like, "Well, how long will that take?" And he's like, "I don't know, like 10, 15 minutes." And I was like, "Well, it's clearly been going for like 10, 15 minutes too, if he's not even like sitting at the counter." So we literally couldn't order, and we just had to leave.
Damn, that sucks. He should have just like given you some chicken.
Right, yeah. Just did they just shut down the whole store while this fucking computer reboot?
Yeah. Oh well, this is probably we could rant about this all night. Okay, well, it's probably a good place to stop.
Yeah.
If you guys are enjoying the Car Bros podcast, one last shout out to the Patreon. Check it out. Mm-hmm. We're almost to 80 people on there, so it's a good old time. Mm-hmm. Thank you to all who have signed up. Thank you to everyone who is here live. You guys mean the world to us. You're the best.
Yeah, the chat definitely adds an element to the proceedings.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said at the beginning, in case you missed it, we will be back on October 6th, Sunday, October 6th at 6:30 Pacific.
You want to do it earlier than that? Because that's kind of late for a Sunday night on East Coast, right?
Sunday, the 6th at 6.
Okay, there we go.
Coin. Yeah. Well, he may be here in person. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Between now and then.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's figure that out. But anyways, we'll be live.
In the meantime, we are going to be working on finishing up the Monterey video.
Yeah, we're going to try to finish that up in September as promised. Yeah, so October 6th.
I guess if things go well, we can actually talk about that on that podcast. Assuming it's done and released before then.
Yeah. So I've got that to look forward to. So thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. And we will see you on October 6th.
Sounds good.
Yep.
See you.
Yep. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks a lot.